As our final season here draws towards its conclusion, I wonder if I can take you back right to the very beginning of your time at the club and your first memories of the Boleyn Ground, the first time you stepped out here.
My first memories well, strange enough, going back a long way, I wasn't a big schoolboy player, and a friend of my father called Jock Redfern wrote to West Ham and Arsenal for a trial. And I first came to West Ham, they gave me an opportunity, but the first time I came for the trial on the London Underground, I got lost. And for some reason I didn't make the trial. So I'm quite lucky I had a second chance. But great memories early on of the staff at the club. That's so important when you join a club, not just the manager, but the staff below him. A guy called Tom Russell looked after the juniors. Bill Robinson, names that looked after the third team, the A team as it was called. Billy Lansdowne had come out of the first team and looking after the reserves. And then all of a sudden a chap called Mr. Greenwood turns up. And it was a great time. Not only Ron turning up, but some of the senior players like Malcolm Allison, John Bond, Noel Campbell, a guy called Jimmy Andrews were coaching the kids on a Tuesday and Thursday nights. So we talk about the academy, but it really started there, where the senior players were involved in coaching, even the kids before we joined the club. And then you got the succession of Ron coming on top of that fantastic atmosphere of coaching, and took us to a new level. And it is no surprise that West Ham produced 3 players, for a World Cup final. Ron's great. Harry Redknapp would say he's the best coach he still worked with, and who would argue with that? And he took me from a mediocre midfield player, and I'm being kind to myself, transformed me into, along with Bobby and Martin, to players that played in the World Cup final. I mean, I wasn't a world-class player, but Ron's coaching was to train you and coach you to be comfortable, I guess, in those surroundings. Taking us to New York in '63, playing against some teams from all over the world, was an unbelievably fantastic learning curve for us all. And it's, as I say, finish up with 3 players who played fantastic parts in the final was a great credit to Ron and the club at the time. But my plan was always to come, once we announced it, or the club announced, a couple of years ago they're going to the new stadium. The last games here were going to be very momentous, and I'd always made a plan to get to one of the games here, subject to my diary. But this was a great opportunity, particularly, of course, with the Sunderland, which brings back a few memories, pretty good memories for me.
Hat-trick in either half?
Correct, yes, you remember, yes. I was just saying earlier that got the 6 goals, which hasn't been done in a league game since. One obviously personal highlight for me, of course. And going home, I flicked the first one in, couldn't quite reach it with my head on the near post from Harry, and again after I owned up, I think I did sort of maybe slightly touch that one in,